Hey y'all, welcome back to Daydream Manor Flower Farm. I'm Dawn. I live in Zone 8B in South Louisiana. Alright, welcome back to my kitchen. Because again, it's too dang hot to be outside. We do live in Satan's armpit, so I'm not out there. But today, let's talk about a quick little update on a few things that's happening and what I'm working on right now. So, first things first, flowers are pitiful. 115 degrees, they just dying. I'm trying to keep what I can alive, especially my marigolds and zinnias. I've cut them all back just so I can try to get another flush out of them that'll hold me over until the other ones are in the ground and blooming for fall bloom. So just trying to time it out. I mean, they looked pitiful day before yesterday. I mean, my mahogany splendor looked awful, and so I was out there at 8 o'clock at night and just watering, and they looked much better the next morning. But still, it's just so daggum hot. So not good, but we're just gonna roll with it. Next up, we got the arches up on the high tunnel. So, and we weren't even planning to do it, but we ended up doing it. So, we do have a 30 by 55 high tunnel that we received a grant from USDA on. And we've had it for, I guess now, I don't know, when did we pick that up? A couple of months ago. It's just been so hot, we just hadn't even just buckled down to do it. And, we needed to move the arches so that I could cut grass there. And so Mr. Daydream was like, well, let's just put one up and see if we can do it. Because the original plan was my son-in-law was coming over and him and Mr. Daydream were going to get it done. But I was like, okay, well, let's just try. So I did video, and I'll put some video in next so you can see, but it was so dang hot. My camera kept overheating, so I only got a little bit of video. Anyway, the first one or two was a joke. Like, we struggled, but then by the third and fourth one, once we kind of got like in our groove, we got them all up. I mean, before we knew it, we had all 12 up. I mean, we did have to take quite a few water breaks because it was 106 degrees, but we got them up, and I'm super excited when I look out there because it actually looks like something now. Next up, some bracing, and that has to happen. So Mr. Daydream's just going to work on that as he has time before we can put the sheeting on it. But looks awesome. Yeah, when I cut grass, I went down and got as close to the ground as I could because we're going to try to kill that grass off so that we can start. Once we get the sheeting on and everything's ready to go, we'll hopefully be able to start putting the beds in. So, yay! A little bit of headway on that. Next up, so I did a thing, and I'm excited over it. A little anxious, but I'm excited. It's like a good anxious. There is a boutique in town that's been in business for about 9 years. Been in one of the, like a little older home that was flipped over for commercial use. And I saw that she just bought a building that is right on our main street, and it's a much bigger building. It's a business that had went out of business. And I was like, oh, do I want to go talk to her about this? So I ended up taking a ride over to the boutique, and I talked to a vendor that was there that I know personally, and just asked some questions. She was like, oh, you need to call the owner. I'm going to tell you're going to call her because she's never had anybody do flowers here. She said, see, I think she'd be interested. So I ended up coming home, and I was like, I don't know. Because remember, I have said I'm not doing a farmer's market. Like, that's not in the plan for me. I don't have the time. I just don't have the bandwidth to sit at a farmer's market in the heat for 6-7 hours on a Saturday. I have so many other things I need to be doing. And maybe if I didn't work full time, maybe that would be an option. But right now, it's just not an option. And so I was like, well, let me see if this might be an alternative to that. So I came back and I called her and she was like, well, are you still at the boutique? I was like, no, I'm back home. She's like, oh, I wanted to meet you and talk to you in person. She said, I'm at the new space. I said, oh, I'll be there in a few minutes. So I jumped back in my car, head over there, meet her. We ended up talking for like 30, 45 minutes, just kind of brainstorming. Y'all, she is now going, well, let me back up. So I am going to be a vendor there. She is like super supportive and excited. I am excited. The group of vendors that she's had in there for years, they're excited. There's a couple in there that when I saw what they did, I think I'm going to try to partner with them on an idea I have. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But anyway, that's a little bit further down the line. So we talked through all of the ideas. So I'm going to have a table display. She's going to put me up by the front doors, which is amazing because the whole front of the building is all window. And to get from one end of the town to the other, you have to go down the street. And it's 25 miles an hour. So you'll be able to see the flowers in the window. And the way that the building is facing, the sun doesn't beat directly down into that window. So I'm excited. I'm going to have, I was sitting here thinking through like, okay, I want to have a couple of price points on some different, like mini vases versus vase and wrapped and all the things. So I'm going to do that. I want to have my dried flowers, the succulents in my hand poured concrete planters. So like, I am like super pumped. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. She's open Tuesdays through Sunday. Yes. And then during the holidays, she's open 7 days a week. And so we were talking about it and I was like, I really want to focus on the foot traffic that's there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday, with the flowers. So I think that's the bigger selling days. I could be wrong. I don't know yet. So it's going to be something I'm going to have to figure out as I go and probably adjust. I mean, the beautiful part of it is I go in, I set up, I don't have to be there all day. That's the beauty of it, right? Probably the first, or for several weeks, I probably will go every day to check on things until I can get like in the groove of things, like setting up, cleaning up, how many bouquets are selling. So again, learning curve. But I am excited. I think this is also going to help build on the momentum I have right now of people learning about the flower farm out here in town. So I've had quite a bit of momentum around that since I did that flower bar with the local magazine here. And so I'm just building on it. So I'm super excited about it. But it's also making me do some math. So, I always say you place your seed order when things are in bloom, which I did earlier. And I was really excited because I didn't spend very much money on seeds because I didn't think I was going to need any. Okay, I gotta go back and redo this. So my first thing that I'm working on right now is what will a market bouquet really look like. I know I'm gonna do 15 stems. That's gonna be the bigger bouquet. And then what are my go-to flowers in that? And so when I think through and I break it up by season, so of course sunflowers and bee balm and statice and snapdragons and celosia and all of those things, right? And how many stems am I going to need a week? So then I know how many plants I need to have out in the field, especially if they're cut and come again or they're a one-time cut like sunflowers, so that I can plan my succession planting a little bit better. Because that is one thing I am not good at, is the succession planting. So I just need to get a better, I need to get some time management and organizational skills around that. Anyway, the other thing that can happen in that space is she has a big workshop area that vendors will be able to use. And her and I discussed some ideas about workshops, which y'all, I'm really excited about. So a lot of potential in this area. Just going to have to figure out how the bouquets are going to sell. So my goal right now is I'm just getting a baseline on seed count. So I'm just throwing out there 20 bouquets a week. I hope I sell more than that, but 20 bouquets, I'm just going to start with that number and we're going to go from there. So for instance, when I'm thinking through, okay, if it's a week, if it's, you know, time where I'm going to do sunflowers, that's going to be my focal, and I want 5 sunflowers in 20 bouquets, that's 100 sunflowers that I need to have weekly. So I've got to be able to be succession planting to that amount, plus adding about 20% onto that. So 120 per week just for breakage and whatever. So just trying to get a baseline of numbers so I can start thinking about. And then the other thing is soil blocking. How much room am I going to need when I think about like bee balm and status? How many plants is that? How many soil blocks am I going to have? So because I don't have a lot of space in the stem shed, I have those 2 racks. So I've got to be real smart about how I plant, how I start seeds. So I am redoing my seed order because when you think about it, I'm going to have the market bouquets. I'm going to have my flower subscriptions. I'm still going to be offering my buckets of blooms. I will have the flower bar rentals. So there's still a lot of other flowers I'm going to need. Also, I'm not including in these market bouquets, like when I have ranunculus or tulips or lisianthus. So those will look different. But these are just for me to get my seed order together. So a lot of stuff happening. I hope it goes well. We will see. Worst case scenario, I just signed a 6-month contract and I don't make any money. But I have to believe that I can at least make enough each month to pay the rental of the space. So, and it's not a whole lot. I'm not allowed to say that was one of the things in the contract, but it is a very minimal amount. So I feel pretty good about it. Anyway, all right, I got to go finish mathing so I can do my seed order again, because look what just came in. Perfect timing. So I'm going to go grab all of that and place another order. All right, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope this helps you kind of think outside the box of some ideas you might want to do to bring in some other revenue for your flower farm. So we'll chat again soon, friends. Have a good one.